Good morning. This is your crypto a day morning. Today's date, Monday, 11th of February, 2019. All bets, trades of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. And looking first upon the Bitcoin chart daily and third day, just doing this little sideways movement after the gain that was first starting such at the bottom area of the support level, managing to quickly proceed higher from its short-term levels and still far away from that level as we stand today. It also got above a previous level of prior support, and it resisted the resistance level upon that same prior support. So just staying in there right now for a couple of days. Therefore, obvious short-term support and resistance established thoroughly, and breaking out of a little area like this or down from such, well, the most obvious spot for the next keyword next level of support is where it came from. And resistance, well, as I mentioned, it did resist the level of previous resistance, which matched up to this level of previous support. Thus, breaking out above, I'd be looking at previous resistance as its next level. And in finishing off within the single hour support, like I mentioned, like I said, in the short term, the levels is easily established, and so is the case. 3580 has been and is right now the support level. When I say has been, I meant to say it because it left it on the 7-hour time frame. The spot for it to attempt a breakout came in here. It failed. But what I will not say is it ultimately failed. Because if it ultimately fails amongst this time frame, that means it's going to go down here. And thus I have to start a whole new bunch of different legs to get back up, at least a couple. But after this move failed, it's only failed like short term. It's succeeding thus far in its correction, which is overall a correction that started really from this top. It has managed to correct via that of time. Volume remains still relatively decent, and I'm not going to try to guess the prediction for where it's going to go. Short term, breaking down before here meant it was making that new leg and it was breaking support. Now short term going down is just back to this area here. That's all it can go to short term, and then below that we're probably decent sized move. Breaking higher short term, we're looking at a range between 3630, then again 3660, and then stronger up to here. If it gets above 37, then we're probably looking at 41 relatively quick. Let's switch on to Vertcoin, which is showing tremendous volatility right now. And when we see this major support long term in and around these levels, but it last lifted off from higher than such, which meant that after it had this rally, it supported this level of resistance, getting out above. I've talked before, oh, it could be a big gain. Well, yeah, it was here. And so far, how many days has it been since that gain? Well, today is day number 4. Support has been established here, which happens to be, once again, where it came from. And today's session, well, it's already managed to price up to here. The 18, nice new rising average and everything. This thing is holding and looking pretty good. Holding for what you need for like just long-term movements going up. And looking good for the short term because it's got good volatility to trade, day trade. So let's shorten out, remove the drawings and shorten out the time frame. And we'll go right to the single hour. As we can see in here, just looking back and how this all manifested from before, everything was just in a not so volatile downtrend with still good moves here. You can sell order up top and buy back, and if you bought in here, you maybe get a one sell opportunity, obvious buyback before it all happened. You have this move, possible buybacks within. You have this move, possible buybacks, and then it just has great gains. Great moves up, even this intraday move Small moves in here where you can buy low, sell high, and then anything you sell up here, you can start to buy, or at this point you're buying back. And then it just happens again. We have another great move to the upside, about a 61.8% and a bit greater, a pierce above retracement from this high and this low. So far, what it's doing is holding and staying above. This low comes in at, well, I can see where it came from. It comes in at the 18 average of lows, but still just there, holding in there. And this was an attempt in here to get this amazing move going again. And having a correctionary move to the 18 is so standard or so fine. But what I like to see is when it does such an event, getting above here, we've seen this at like 92 to 93. Don't be surprised if it happens amongst this pattern now, as you have this high, you have this move, maybe you spend 1, 2, 5, 10 periods in it, and then it gets above it, and then that takes 2, 4, 5 periods again, maybe 8 or 9 even. Then this thing would probably go pretty good. And within the NLC, we have price correction going down. So we're coming down the 18 average, which means starting to buy back after selling a lot of different orders up here. So I'm starting to get buy orders back, and they're filled all the way lower, even breaking down below this low from everything that I sold. So what I like about the selling in here is I'm covered down to like 80 Satoshi, even maybe 100 to around 80 to 100, because of all of the sell orders I had. And finally, let's take a look at XBY rather, which is now on Coin Exchange. And ever since I noticed it, and a little too late, a little later than it could have been, definitely not that extremely early actually if you want to get technical, which is in this area here. So I was able to buy a bit at 250, and then buy a 200 in here, and then again at 191, and then again at 181, and I got buy orders down below. But I also got sell orders above. I do expect this to go down. And the reason for such is because you can trade it now. And there are, at first, the wave of people with hardware wallets that are moving their funds into Coin Exchange to sell them. And I'm going to take the chance, I guess, as you can call it, and buy in pretty big, because my plan always was, if this thing can go down to 250, sub 250, this was time to go big. And now it is in this spot. And when Cryptopia has access to the wallets, there are going to be a lot of people that just want to get out of it. So having a big capitulation washout phase, almost to be like, I'm not going to say guaranteed, because I don't believe that it's ever true, because so many things in my life I thought were such that were not. And I like to use the word very high probabilities rather instead. But that's how I feel. High probabilities that it's going to take a decent size a fall. And for me, I'm just going to I've reaccumulated, but yet what I bought, I don't own. I mean, I kind of do, but I don't. These coins on Coin Exchange, I am 100%, 99.999 whatever percent sure I can do what I need to do with them, which is trade them or move them off the exchange. With Cryptopia, I can't do that because of what's going on that site. And February 14th, upon their police report in New Zealand, states that they are leaving the premises, they being the New Zealand police, of the premises of Cryptopia. So I'll be expecting nothing to really happen really until the end of the week, hoping for the best, but obviously going to get what the result will be. But with that being said, with all that stuff, Cryptopia opens, they resume their exchange, or they do not. Either way, coins are available. Coins are available for withdrawing off the site. There's going to be a decent portion that are just going to be leaving cryptos completely. So it doesn't matter what they own. It's going to be sell-off city as it is. And I'm going to be really curious to see how the movements of markets that were really highly affected to Cryptopia, with XBY mainly being the one. I also got to think that the ETN will be another, how many people react to those kinds of coins. But for me, this gives me the chance to be able to buy as much as I can below 200 and then play the game. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye bye.